So let's talk about putting together an actual proposal. It's very important when you're putting these proposals together that you're pretty obvious in what's going on in your proposal. General contractors have a lot of details to deal with when they're packaging up a full bid. If you're bidding as a subcontractor, it's very important that you leave a very clear trail of crumbs for the general contractor so they know exactly what you're bidding. This is where the master format comes in handy. Master format is the standard by which every little detail in a construction project is addressed. I've got a list right here of some major divisions that are going on a project that I'm currently bidding. Let's go over a few. Division 042613, masonry veneer. What that'll entail if you bid that item is the labor to install that masonry veneer, typically the actual material to install the masonry veneer. However, on some of these projects, the owner provides physical stone itself, but you'll provide the construction materials. It'll provide any equipment to make that scope of work happen. Your scaffold to OSHA standards, your man lifts, your boom lifts, a telehandler to move your material around. So let's take the masonry veneer for example. You're going to bid that. Great item to bid. What I'll do is have an intro section. It'll list all my company's information, and then I'll get to item number one. I'll list off 042613 dash masonry veneer dash, and then have the price right there. Then underneath I'll put an item that says labor, equipment, and materials to execute the following. And then underneath that I'll put install masonry veneer to north elevation, install masonry veneer to bottom 4 feet of east and west elevation, and install masonry veneer to south elevation. Then I'll have an item under that that says inclusions, and it'll say 4 feet on the east and west elevation, entire 16 foot of north and south elevation. Then underneath that, installing coping cap, cast stone coping cap on top of 4-foot wall. Then underneath that there'll be an item that says exclusions. What does my item not entail? And that can be a pretty key detail in some of these. For masonry veneer, I would say excludes any and all metal flashings. So underneath that, all glazing and caulking exclusions. Any fluid applied membranes underneath. Excludes weather barriers of any kind. You got to make sure that the GC knows exactly what you are accounting for in these proposals. Let's take another one, for example, that I commonly do. I'm commonly bidding hanging drywall, okay? So we'll go to division 092900, gypsum board. I'll bid the hanging, sometimes I'll bid the finishing. So item number 2, I'll list off 092900-gypsum board dash hang dash, and then my price right there, and I'll say labor, equipment, and materials to perform the following. Hang all gypsum products on interior. Underneath that, install all Dens glass on the exterior. Sometimes I'll lump those in together. Then underneath that I'll have inclusions. Includes all 5/8 type X rock, includes armor shield board where called for, includes shaft panels where called for. Exclusions. Excludes all taping, bedding, finishing of drywall. Another exclusion I'll commonly put. Excludes any and all fire caulking. When I list out my items in these ways, it leaves a trail of crumbs for the general contractor so they know exactly where I stand on all these items. It lets them know what I've accounted for and what I've not accounted for. It's a great opportunity to find any small things that somebody may or may not miss and put it in my inclusions so they know I actually dug through the plans in the spec book, and they get some confidence in using me as a company. It's a great opportunity to show them I know what I'm doing. When I bid cold form framing, if there's long raking walls that call for putting cold roll channel in them, I'll itemize that out. I'll say installing CRC in wall XYZ123. If there's a special kind of track called for, like a deflection track, I'll list inclusions. Deflection track is called for in plans. I'll put on the inclusions also includes parapet wall on north elevation. After I've got all these items packaged up, 1, 2, 3 with the division, listed out, and then the prices associated, I put at the bottom the total of everything, and I highlight that. That shows them my total package bid. My prices are subject to change if you accept one portion but not another portion. I account for my overhead as an entire project. For me to install acoustic ceilings, my overhead is very, very low. So a lot of times I'll cut my overhead on acoustic ceilings because I'll already be on site addressing drywall or painting or something of that nature. So if the general contractor only accepts a portion of the work that I bid, my prices are subject to go up or down, just depends on the situation. Once the contractor gets to the end of my proposal and they see that lump sum price and all the associated prices that make up that price, I put a little section at the end that mentions something to the effect of, my company, Crest Construction, we take great pride in being an incident-free workplace. And I also list that we take pride in cleaning and organizing our jobs at the end of every day. We broom clean everything at the end of the day. We believe that a safe job site is a clean, organized job site. I also take this opportunity to say superintendents from Crest Construction will be on site every day to direct and guide our men. Then at the end of these proposals, I've got a little box where I sign off on everything. I sign my signature, I say I'm the owner of the company, and I put the date. It's an official stamp that I've printed it up, I've looked at it, I've reviewed it, everything's been said and done on it, and it is ready to send out. I'll scan it back in the computer, and I'll email it to the general contractor. I believe that being professional in the way I present these bids is what is helping me to land these jobs. I've seen a lot of proposals from subcontractors because I've served as the GC at a previous firm and at my current firm on projects. Some of the proposals I get from subcontractors when I'm serving as the GC, they may as well be this sheet of paper that says, perform work like we talked about, $1,000. It is just, it's not professional. And these are licensed guys. I believe that professionalism is essential in this environment of commercial work. It just is. It's not necessarily always the cheap bidder. A lot of times it is the cheap bidder. I believe also a lot of times it is the most competent person for the job. All this ties into what we've talked about in previous videos. In this commercial sector, there's all this management that's involved. And I got to communicate to all those people, whoever sees my company through just a piece of paper or sees my company through just an email. I've got to communicate to them that my company, me, and my men, we are down with the cause. We know what we're doing. You can entrust your $200,000, your $300,000, your $400,000, your $1 million. You can trust me with that money to get done what I'm telling you that I can do. That is what is essential to communicate. That is, damn it, why professionalism is so important and why speaking well is very important and dressing well is very important, because that is part of the marketing. That is part of the selling to these places, is that you can trust me with this giant sum of money to do what I say that I'm going to do. I'm not going to run away. I'm not going to bail on you. If I can effectively communicate that through just my emails and my proposals and the way I speak to people on the phone, I'm set up for success in this business. It's the same thing I discussed in another video about the Big Mac on the sign as I'm driving down the main strip in town. Man, I look at that Big Mac and it is juicy and it's got the pickles falling off and the sauce and the lettuce and it's fluffy and the guy's smiling huge and he loves it. And so I go to McDonald's and the fries come out soggy and the burger's flat, smushed, and falling apart. There's no equity between the expectations and what's delivered with McDonald's. However, with my company, there is equity. What I show is that juicy proposal where it's professional and we're going to get it done for you, and then I deliver on the project as well. Think about the McDonald's example. When you go over there and you order at the drive-thru a Big Mac, a large fry, and a large Coke, and you pull up and you pay for your meal and you're excited, you're ready to go, and then you get up to the window and they go, hey, I'm going to need you to pull up, we'll bring your food right out to you, and you go, meh, okay. You pull up, you start waiting for your food. It's been 1 or 2 minutes, no big deal. They're just cooking the fries. Next thing you know, it's been 5, 6 minutes and you're getting a little antsy. You're going, man, I got things to do, man. They didn't say it was going to take this long. Next thing you know, it's been 10 minutes and you're sitting there and you are hot. And so you go walk inside and you go, what's the deal? Where's my food at? And they say, oh man, we forgot to make your food. I'll be dang, man. Either you can pressure them and say, this is unacceptable, or you can go, it's no big deal, and go back and sit in your car and wait another 10 minutes for them to bring out your food. The way that I choose to interact with people like that is say, that's unacceptable, and I'll bring my business elsewhere. I'll get it done myself. I get a refund on my money, I go drive to my house, and I go make a sandwich instead, and I remember that experience the next time I'm thinking about going to McDonald's. I remember that in the middle of the day, they put me off for 10 minutes and forgot to make my food, and it's probably best that I don't do business with them ever again. That's the same attitude I take with employees, subcontractors, and general contractors that I work for. It's got to be a team building atmosphere. It's got to be one where we get it done, we're all working together. And that's the bottom line. I would encourage you strongly, if you're starting out as a subcontractor, to follow the format that I've laid out for you with the master format, a real professional, clean overview of everything. Present your company in the professional light. You're bound to land work. I get roughly 20% of the jobs that I bid, and I will tell you, it can get exhausting cranking out these bids. But as you crank out these bids, one of them will eventually hit, then the second one hits, and next thing you know, 3 or 4 of them have hit, and you're going, oh my gosh, man, I'm slammed up till the end of the year. Oh my God. I can promise you this. If you present your company in a professional manner, if you present your proposals in a concise, understandable way, you're gonna land projects. It's as simple as that. Will you make money on those projects? That's for you to decide. If you don't know how to read plans, do your homework. Learn how to read plans better. If you don't know how to bid some scopes of work, do your homework on it. Find books about it. Go out and call suppliers of the people that sell the products you're supposed to be putting in. Ask them for advice. Ask them how to bid this stuff. Find out how many man hours it's going to take you to perform the scope of work that you're looking at. Then multiply those man hours by how much you pay your guys and yourself. Then add to that all the materials it's going to take for you to perform that scope of work. Add taxes to that. Make sure you account for your workers' comp insurance and your general liability. Then on top of that, add any money that it's going to take you to process the paperwork and send out pay apps, and then add to that your profit, and you're left with the final sum. If you follow that format, you're not going to fail at this. That's about all the time I got. I hope you guys got something out of this. I always enjoy talking to you. If you got any questions, feel free to look me up on Google, give me a phone call, shoot me an email, or shoot me a DM. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.